Uh, it's an interesting thing that's taking place in America, but it's all has a human element to it, and that's why we on Howcee Productions Gospel cover all aspects of the human being. Stay with us as we continue here on Howcee Productions Gospel Blog Talk Radio. Thank you.
um, some elements of where we are and what's taking place in this country. We hold true. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equally, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. With these ambiguous words, Thomas Jefferson not only justified America's break from Great Britain, but also set forth a vision of what kind of nation America was to be. Dr. Martin Luther King used those words quite powerfully. A country of equality and liberty. Ironically, Jefferson and many other signers of the Declaration of Independence owned black slaves who were granted neither. This paradox of American ideas versus the treatment of minority groups has continued to haunt American society for over 250 years plus. This is 2019, nearly 2020. America still struggles with its overpowering, overall incestuous in all elements of the life of this country of racism. The paradox of American ideals versus its treatment of minorities groups has continued to haunt American society, like I said, for over 200 plus years. In the mid-19th century, it led to a bloody civil war that freed slaves but did not end racism, create racial equality. A century later, the civil rights movement succeeded in its push for laws outlawing and outlining racial segregation, discrimination, and ensuring blacks and other minorities the right to vote. Today, when the Supreme Court some years back struck down Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act, at the heart of what was the powerful Voting Rights Act. And it unleashed in southern states and other states throughout the nation efforts and means to discredit and hinder and slow down, interfere with, or impede, slow down the effort of minorities of darker skins and other people in this nation to vote. It was a tool used powerfully by the Republican Party. Today's laws exist to ensure equal treatment of all races, and more blatantly, vestiges of racism are condemned by most Americans. But as historian Robert Weisbrot writes, the goal of racial equality remains in infinity preceding vision. Blacks endure the poverty rate of more than 30%, 3 times that of the white, and an unemployment rate more than twice the national average, persistent housing discrimination, confinement to ghettos, slums, low enrollment in college, graduate schools, near illusion from top corporate posts, and pervasive racial stereotyping. All of that has changed to somewhat, but to the degree of its existence, it still exists in this country we call America. Despite the fact that few Americans today profess explicitly racist ideologies, that's what has been taking place. It is a hum like a fan that goes on in a room, or like an air conditioner that runs in a room, in a building when you walk in. You just feel the cool or the heat or whatever that unit that is running that provides that level of comfort. But guess what? When you get real quiet and pay attention to it, you can actually hear the hum of racism in this country. You can actually hear the hum of racism in this country we call America. More coming your way on True or False. America's past are what? News. Do you really think we're blind? Just like today, for instance, a senator had the employee of the Trump administration, HUD, a black lady, standing behind him, and some seen it as a prop. One of the newer members of the Senate brought that to the American people and to the hearing committee today's attention. Why would he stand this lady up and profess or show that she represented non-racism? Someone brought up the point that the fact that he had did it, a racist act, not that he was racist, but that it was a racist act. What ensued between him and the chairman of the committee was a back and forth discussion of him being accused of being a racist. After some efforts on both parts of the three parties, they come to some type of impasse as to what was being said and why it was being done. But anyway, true or false, America's past are what? News? Do you really think we're blind?
Howcee Productions Gospel, Blog Talk Radio. Good evening, good morning, whatever time it is, wherever you are, God is right there with you. You're listening to Howcee Productions Gospel, Blog Talk Radio. You can find us all over the internet at www.blogtalkradio.com/Howcee-production-gospel. We are your internet radio station. Sit back and relax and enjoy more of Howcee Productions Gospel, Blog Talk Radio. What's going on in your world? What's happening in your neighborhood? Well, that's the question. What's happening in your world? Sometimes you have to wonder about this country we call America. Well, what did you say? America, true or false? Do you really think we are blind?
Let's take a look at immigration in this country. What is it about the immigrants that's coming to this country from Guatemala and Venezuela and Mexico? It's in this hemisphere that over the centuries and over the years in this country, in the last 10 or 15 years, America, the government, Republicans and Democrats, and all of those that have been elected office, have refused to deal with the issue of immigration. Really deal with it. Why? Why is that? Why is that? Just think about that. Why is that? I surmise that the answer may lie in the labor, cheap labor. As I type in a search engine in regards to run for the border, that's a song that I uploaded in regards to immigration. Is that perhaps that the wealth of this country, the people most wealthy, the people that takes advantage of the labor force of immigrants and undocumented immigrants, is that they are getting labor for a very low cost. And that is what's behind the failure of representatives and senators and the elements of the federal government to deal with the issue. because those that lobby on those issues are paying them to do nothing. They are paying them to absolutely do nothing. Run for the border. Run for the border. Run.
Who you gonna blame? I said, who you gonna blame? ¿Qué pasa? Fast and Furious, maybe. Gotta run for the border. Who you gonna blame? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? Fast and Furious. Gotta run for the border. Fast and Furious. Make that run today. Gotta run for the border. ¿Qué pasa? Guns. Cartel. Gotta run for the border. American gun dealers making money. Debt over guns. Guns over debt. America. Gun dealers, no law, no law, no law. Work